All right, welcome. My name is Seth Green, and I'm going to talk today about making a bowl, about turning a lump of clay like this into something like this. I'm going to go through the steps of throwing a bowl, and then also going to go through the steps of trimming and finishing a bowl today. So for a bowl about this size, cereal or soup bowl size, I start with about 2.5 pounds of clay. It's like a small grapefruit or a large orange. And I'm going to get this centered on the wheel here. I'm going to cone this clay up with my two hands here. I like to use this slip that's on my hands here. One of the reasons I do that is because when a lot of water is used when making pottery, it makes it hard to control what you want to do with it. It softens it up and it doesn't want to hold the shape. So I've got my left hand here, my elbow, just like I talked about when we were throwing cylinders. Got a sponge in my right hand and I'm pressing down on my left knuckle, getting that clay centered, scraping off that really good slip right back onto the pot. So the second step is opening. It's the same as opening a cylinder up, except we're not going to flatten it out. We're just going to keep it round. It's one of the most important things about a bowl is that it has an even and consistent curve on the interior. So instead of flattening it out like we would a cylinder, we're going to go right to the poling. And I'm going to use my left thumb on this outside edge. I'm going to put my fingers in the center, and it looks kind of like a C shape. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pinching my hands together as I come up in this motion. Okay? So I'm really doing a lot of work with my left hand with my thumb and my fingers. I use my sponge here, and I'm going to squeeze. And as I squeeze my hands together, I'm going to also come up at the same time. Recenter that rim. Whatever the rim does, the rest of the pot will follow. Go and do another pull here. Squeeze my hands together and then come up. My hands are coming up at an even, consistent rate. My wheel speed is the same, just like I talked about when we made our cylinders. This last pull, I'm going to start to stretch the wall of the cylinder out. I'm going to get a little bit of water on there. And I'm going to use this whole part of my hand. Notice how my hand is draping on the interior of this bowl here. And this is what's going to help me stretch it evenly. So this is going to be the last pull. Okay. And then the last, couple of the last steps are pre-trim some of this excess clay off the exterior. This just helps you to have less clay to trim off later. Turn it back like a plow and get all that clay off. Helps your clay to dry quicker so that you'll be able to trim it faster. Okay? All right, so in order to get that even and consistent curve in there, I want to start with my sponge on the interior and move towards 3 o'clock. It's getting all that water out of the bottom, and it's also kind of starting that curve. And then I've got a specialty rib here. It's a Michael Sherrill mud tool rib. You can buy it in the bookstore. It's stiff material, stiff plastic. And this will help me make the nice bowl shape that I want to make. So I'm going to hold the rib in my hand. With my right hand, I'm careful to keep my fingers away from the edge. I've got my left hand here on the outside, kind of bracing some back pressure. And I'm just pressing down and working on that consistent curve. And then finish it off with your sponge. Another good attribute of a good bowl is a drinking lip. most of the time when we're eating something out of a bowl, we're going to drink the liquid of the soup or the cereal or the ice cream or whatever we're going to be eating out of it. And then the last step is to cut the bowl off the wheel with a wire that's tightly wrapped around your fingers. And that is how you throw a bowl.